Think about it for a moment. If you had the opportunity to extend your life, would you? Let's just say, for example, you were told you was going to die at the age of 55. Just using that for an example. And let's say you was given an opportunity to extend your life long into your 80s, 30 some odd years more. Would you do it? In this episode, I want to explore some of the factors that we have with options in our life. Things that we're willing to do, things that we refuse to do. But what if that thing was just so simple that all it took was a little discipline and willpower? Would you do it? Well, let's talk about it on this episode of Open Discussion. Welcome back, everybody. This episode right here is going to be a little deep. I want to get a little personal with you. But before you go any further and listen, I want you to relax a little bit, because I want you to be able to answer this question towards the end with a clear mind. I want you to think about something for a moment. This is the part where I now bring you into either your thoughts, but I take you into mine by giving you an example of something. Towards this end, I hope that you get something out of this where you're able to maybe change your mindset. I'm hoping by the end of this episode, I'm able to at least get one person. I know all of you won't follow me, but I know some of you will. Or you won't follow what I'm saying, but some of you will. And I hope I can just reach that one. First and foremost, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe. I can guarantee you will get something good out of this. Now let's get on with it. All right, first and foremost, not too long ago, we just lost Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti was a music mogul, a producer, a hit maker, as they call it. Man, let me tell you something. He put us on to some of the most greatest artists in our times, especially in the early 2000s and that last part of 1999. Irv Gotti put out artists such as Ja Rule, Ashanti. He even founded the whole DMX concept and DMX. He was able to put them on and get them going. Irv saw something in DMX that nobody else did. They thought DMX was a corny artist. They thought nobody was going to go along with that whole barking thing and all of that. But he proved them wrong. And we all know right now how big DMX got. But recently we lost Irv Gotti. And even though it's not so much determined exactly what happened, we got the foundation of what caused his problems that led to his downfall. Not long ago, in 2017, Irv Gotti appeared on an episode of Drink Champs.
So what is diabetes for a person that don't know?
I don't fucking know.
It's your sugar levels in your body.
Right. So that's the thing where people
it
be like...
It runs rampant with black people.
It's dangerous.
Right.
It's dangerous, though.
All right.
And what it does is it starts deteriorating your body.
All right.
So...
And you good? Like, you got it under control?
No.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, because when you been diagnosed, or this is a recent thing?
I've been diagnosed with diabetes forever.
Because this is like the smallest I've ever seen you. Like
it's hereditary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been diagnosed with diabetes.
You have to do insulin?
Time to time. Not all the time, but time to time.
Okay.
When my number gets too high, shot.
Wow.
I heard that it's reversible. Like,
Yes, it's reversible, but
it's really a diet thing.
You got to change the way you eat.
Like be a vegan?
You got to all that. But you know it's fucked up with diabetes. So anything that's you're gonna like or taste good, horrible for you.
Fried chicken.
Forget it.
Killer.
Like carbohydrates are all sugar.
Cupcakes.
Not killer.
Liquor sugar.
Now what's some
Tuna fish sandwiches.
what's some nasty shit?
Rice cakes?
Yeah, rice cakes.
Rice cakes?
No, rice cakes is not a good example.
Okay.
Like broccoli,
Spinach.
I had some garlic broccoli last night. It was good.
the garlic.
Garlic's not good?
Probably not.
Wow.
So what the fuck do you eat? Cardboard?
You're supposed to eat some leaves or some shit like that.
You playing, right?
No, flavor, because everything got sugar.
I told you, if you fucking eat something and it tastes good, it's better.
Even too much fruit is sugar, depending
That's
on
right.
the level of diabetes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So watermelon? You can't have no watermelon?
I can have fruit, but
He has to watch how
Moderation.
much of the sugar.
Yeah, I said watermelon, not fruit.
No, that's-
Watermelon is a whole different thing for black people.
Out the fruit
this is why
category.
this is why my kids get mad, because I'm be telling them like, yo, I'm gonna live.
Right.
I'm like, y'all motherfuckers want me to die
Right.
and not enjoy life. I'm gonna enjoy life and do certain shit.
Right.
No, Dad, but you can't do that. I'm like, all right, stop me.
All right.
Because it's like I gotta live.
All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna have the fucking water.
Watermelon. Goddamn, make some watermelon.
But what you're supposed to do, exercise.
All right.
Starts to things that it used to be able to process, it stops processing it. Sugars, things that we love so much, sugars that gave us energy when we were kids, are now becoming our enemy. But for some of us, it's hard to give that up because it tastes so damn good. But at the same time, it's destroying our bodies from within. Now, due to Irv Gotti's complication with diabetes, it led him to lose massive weight. It led him down the line to have a stroke. And from what I believe, he had a second stroke, which caused some type of hemorrhaging on the brain. And that resulted in him having a heart attack. A lot of us are living with diabetes and really don't even know. We consume the everyday foods, the everyday drinks, the sweets, the cookies, the candies, not realizing that it's being detrimental to our bodies. It's breaking us down within. On the outside, we don't look as bad as we think. But inside, something is going on behind the scenes that's causing a destruction. And for some of us, it's taking our life away. Irv Gotti was only, if I'm correct, 52 years old. 52 years old. To some of my young listeners, that's old to you. To me, he was only a good big couple of years older than me. It's still life. I always said, and you heard me say in a lot of my other shows, that being in your 40s is the best part of life. It's the sweet part. That's that sweet part of it. But what would he have done if he knew that on that episode in 2017, that less than 10 years from that time, 8 years later, that he would be gone? What if you knew that you only had 8 years of life left if you continued on the path that you was on? What would you do if you knew that the clock was really ticking? Would you continue to do what you do? Or would you just hope that things would get better? In that episode again, he talked about how he don't want to do this, and he wasn't really with that, nah. But that's the mentality that us as minorities that we have. Some people predate it back to the slavery times when we were restricted to do this and we were restricted to do that. And now that we have so much more freedom, we won't allow anybody to take that from us. But you have to see that certain things is detrimental to our lives. That even though that slavery part of life that we went through, that our ancestors went through, because not us, even though they went through that, that mentality, that freedom part that we have now, we don't want to let go of it. We want to do what we want to do. We want to go where we want to go. We want to eat what we want to eat. We want to drink what we want to drink. Without no compromise for ourselves, though. Why is it we don't want to compromise to better our life? Why is it that we sit there continually to cause damage to ourselves, not realizing that tomorrow could be the last day? You know, in that episode, because that was a 2-hour episode, but within the episode, he talked about a psychic that he went to and what she told him was going to happen, and how by him knowing that, he pivoted and did something else to help the situation. All of us know right now that tomorrow's not promised to us. All of us do know that at one point or another, we all will leave this earth. But do we got to leave it suffering? Do we got to leave it in pain? I don't know about you, but I know I don't want to leave out of here suffering. If I can prolong my life, I will. If I can do it. Earlier in 2024, during the whole COVID era for myself, I had to lose some weight. Before COVID hit, I realized that I had gained, I think, 30 pounds. At that time, I was 248. So when COVID hit, right before COVID hit, I started getting into the gym. And just as COVID hit, the gyms and everything was shut down. And I had to find myself going to the park, doing my push-ups and doing my dips. I had to get myself toned. You know, the whole thing with the weight thing that was going on, they were saying people that was obese was the first ones to go. Now, if I show pictures for me from around that time, I didn't think I was obese, but I was. But I knew that the weight I had on me was the most weight I ever had in my whole life. So what I did, started going to the gym, started working out. I did great. I turned that fat that was on there into some kind of bulkiness that I had on me. Made me look real big, real thick. No, some of y'all ladies like that. But let me get back to the story. Well, anyway, COVID passed, 4 years later now. I noticed that I did lose some weight, lost about 20 pounds, but I noticed that my body wasn't cutting up the way it should. I noticed that with all the dips that I was doing, all the push-ups that I was doing, all the pull-ups that I was doing, I wasn't getting any cuts. I wasn't getting any definition. I had that thickness on me, but I had no contour, no muscle. Thinking back, doing my little research, I said, you know, maybe I should get a hormone test. Maybe my hormones are off. You know, I was feeling fine. I was eating whatever I wanted to eat. I was maintaining the weight that I had got down to without any problem, without gaining back the 20 pounds. Went to the doctor. I told her I want to get me a hormone test. I said, I want to test for all my hormones. I want to see my vitamin D levels, my C levels, everything. Okay, so as she's checking off the boxes of the things that I'm telling her and stuff like that, she asked me, how did I feel? And at the time, I told her, I feel all right, feel good. I think I have no problems. I just want to get this because I told her I noticed that my body is not sculpted in the way it should after everything that I'm doing. Well, she checked the boxes off, and right before I was about to leave, she said, hey, I got one more question for you. Do you got a history of diabetes in your family? Now, I know most people don't talk about them having diabetes, but they don't realize that talking about it can save somebody's life in your family. It's like a little sort of a stigmatism and stuff like that, you know. It's, you know, almost like having a major disease. You don't want people to know. Could it be because you're afraid of how they might think of you, or is it because you still want to live the life of eating whatever you want to eat? Because I knew that little bit about family members previously before me, I told her, yeah. So she said, you know what? We're going to check off on that box and we're going to test you for that. Here's your urine test. We take the blood and come back in about 4 days and we'll have the results. All right. So right after I left the doctor's office, what I did, I went back to the gym, doing my dips, doing my pull-ups, hitting the bench. 4 days later, come around, I go back. She said, Mr. Carr, you have diabetes. I'm sitting there and I'm like, what? The notes indicate you have type 2 diabetes. And I just sit there. And she says, well, did you have this symptom? No. Did you have that symptom? No. Did you have a large thirst for water? I said, I drink a lot of water because I work out a lot. So I didn't notice that. So she looked at me and she said, the working out is what pushed everything back. That's probably why you didn't have any major symptoms. I can tell you this. I believe now it was the working out. But once she told me that I was type 2, what I did, came home, dumped everything that was sugar, rice, breads, pasta, threw it all away. The first thing that I did. Did my research. But before all of that, let me tell you what she prescribed me, was metformin. Now keep metformin in mind, and we're going to get right back to that. Metformin, which I never took. Now, got rid of all of the stuff that turned into sugar, because she said you have to go on a high protein diet and you can't eat anything that turns into sugar. No bananas, no rice, no breads, no pasta, no cookies, no cakes. I had to leave all that alone. Now, for people that know me, got a sweet tooth. I got to have a good Mr. Goodbar every now and then, or the Reese's Pieces Buttercup. Just thinking about it right now make me want that with a glass of water. But I realized that stuff was killing me. I cut it all out. Some people say, well, I can't cut this stuff out like that. I can't go cold turkey like that. What am I going to eat? What am I going to do? How am I going to live? There's nothing for me to eat. Let me tell you something. There's 1,000 things out here for you to eat. Some of the things you can still eat. You just can't have your macaroni and cheese. You just can't have your heroes. You just can't have your cookies and your cakes. I got rid of all of that. Started eating more grilled chicken. Started eating more grilled salmon. Every now and then some shrimp. I could still have collard greens depending on what I put into it. I could still have spinach, steamed broccoli, asparagus. There were so many things that I started eating. On top of that, I increased on my workout. On top of that, I changed around how I ate. I kept the sweets from completely out my diet. Don't get me wrong. Did I slip every now and then within those 90 days that I had to go back? I slipped twice. I did. It was whether it would be a little small piece of candy or a corner edge of a piece of bread, I did. But what I added into my diet also, not just the foods, but the supplements. When I look back at my test results, I noticed that I was low in vitamin D. My vitamin B was also low. My C, this and that was also low. My cholesterol was bordering low and high, the good and the bad, all of that. I added in other supplements like berberine. Berberine mixed with my vitamin D3, mixed with my magnesium, mixed with my zinc, all those things effectively. I took every day for the 30 days before my next test. Everything I'm saying to you right now, you're looking at me and you're probably saying there's no way. Or you're about to turn away and click off and say, I'm not doing that. But why? Let me tell you something. When I got my results back that day, my A1C was 9.6. I went back 90 days later. My A1C was 5.1. I was no longer pre-diabetic or type 2. My A1C was back to normal. First thing she said, what did you do and how did you do it? No, first thing she said, did you take the metformin? No. Now see the metformin that we're coming back to. I did my research on metformin. See, a lot of people take metformin thinking they can still eat what they want to eat, however they want to eat. But you can't. Only thing it does is put a Band-Aid on top of the situation. So you wind up staying on metformin because your numbers never balance out. And from there, you continue to eat your pastas, your breads, your sugars, your cakes, your candies, your everything. You continue to do that. So you know what? After a while, they up your doses on metformin. Before you know it, now you have kidney problems. Now, from the kidney problems, because you're not going to stop eating the bad shit, you're going to go back. From there, the kidneys won't heal up because you're eating the stuff that you shouldn't be eating. So what happens? You wind up going on dialysis. And there was a doctor that I was doing that I was watching that did a study on it. He said from the day you go on dialysis, he can almost predict the day you're going to die, depending on how long you've been on dialysis. I'm going to tell you what scared me. Losing fingers and toes. Losing my sight. See, you have people out here who came into this world missing a finger, no eyesight. So that's something they never really had, so you never really miss it. But when you've been living with all 10 of your fingers, all 10 of your toes, it's a little hard to want to give up when the only clear choice you got to make is changing what you put inside your body. Don't get me wrong. 25 years ago, if you'd have told me this, I probably still would have ate what I ate and wouldn't even cared and would have hoped that it went away and kept going to the gym and said, oh, it's going to go away. You have to be a participant in your health in order for your life to be prolonged. I almost know what you're thinking right now. Eating healthy is expensive. I don't want to eat that every day. How am I going to live without my coffee and 7 sugars? How am I going to live without having pizza? And I love pizza so much. Let me tell you something. There's so many other alternatives that I'm not talking about. See, people think that the alternatives are going to the processed foods, which is another thing that's bad for you because your body can't process it no more. It can't, it gets no nourishment from it. It gets no minerals from it. So people go to the processed foods thinking that's a better alternative, and it's not. Only thing it's doing is making the situation worse than what it is. So people go towards that. So they say it's expensive. They don't want to eat this all the time. There's so many of the good foods that us minorities that we can have. You like your black beans? All right, have your black beans. Season up however you want to. You just can't have the rice. Or if you want to have rice, there's black rice. Okay, you like your ham and cheese, but you love the bread? Have the ham and cheese without the bread. Or better yet, there's breads out here, there's flour out here that's that from the ancient grains that you can use just to help the situation. There's Ezekiel bread that you can use as a better substitute. Oh, but I don't like the way it tastes. It don't have no taste. Okay. You got all these complaints. So are you telling me you want to give up on your life now? Is that what you're telling me? Because that's what you're saying. That's what you're telling the universe. And the universe is going to give you exactly what you want. A short stay. For most of us out here, we just start living our lives. Why would you want to give it up so early if you don't have to? I can't tell you what to do. I can only put it out there on what I did. Until this day, my numbers are amazing. Do I have a taste for stuff every now and then? Yes, I do. Will I have a piece of candy? Yes, I will. I found other alternatives if I want to have a ham and cheese sandwich or turkey and cheese. Ezekiel bread, I'll use. Can't have your grits in the morning, so you know what? You have some scrambled eggs and a couple of turkey sausages. You just eliminating the stuff that your body can't process no more. And let me tell you something. I'm 10 times stronger now than what I was when I found out. Mental clarity, I have it. My thoughts are faster. I think faster. When your body can't process something, it pushes it aside. And it's just like, here's an example, like being a hoarder. Your body stores up all this stuff till at some point nobody can get through. And what can get through are the nutrients, the vitamins, the things that your body needs to help sustain you for the time you need to be on this earth. So if those nutrients can't come in, then your body starts to shut down and it breaks down. Or for the filth and the garbage that you put inside your body. I'm telling you, you can do better. But me saying it don't mean nothing if you don't believe it. I'm telling you, you can do it. I did it. Still doing it. And let me tell you something, excuse the expression, but it's a bitch. Checking your numbers back and forth, watching what you eat, finding out, oh, I can't have red sauce on top of this. I got to have something else. Oh, I can't have this grape soda that I love so much because it tastes so good. If you look on the back of these content labels, soda and all this, like I looked at the back of I used to love the Arizona iced teas and the Arizona green tea. Green tea, you would think, is the best thing for you. With real honey. When you look at the back of the sugar content, along with the added sugar, because some people see sugar 12%. You're like, oh, 12% is not a lot. But then the added sugar is 20%. That's a total value of 32% sugar that you consume in your body on a daily basis. On a daily basis. So if you have 2 Arizona iced teas, you go home and have spaghetti and meatballs with garlic bread on the side, you're killing yourself. I was, until I found out. A lot of us don't want to know anything about our health. We're scared of doctors because we don't want to hear no bad news. But wouldn't you want to know? Especially if it's something that all it takes is a tweak of your diet. Everybody's new thing is, oh, I'm going to get the lap band surgery and that'll stop me from eating. Yeah, it will. But that causes problems too. But then you're still eating the breads. You're still eating the pastas. and your sugar levels are still going where it's going. Why cheat yourself? Well, look, in closing, if you would like for me to do a part 2 on exactly some of the things that I did, exactly some of the things that I took, let me know. Until then, I ask you to sit back and think. Do you want to live? And if you do, are you willing to do what it takes to make that possible? Again, we all going to leave here at some point. But if you're 40 years old diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, do you want to die at 43 or 45? You're newly grandmother, newly grandfather. You just got the husband of your dreams, the girl of your dreams. And you're willing to give all that up now just because you can't give up things that's hurting your body. My mother used to tell me that a burnt child won't stick his hand in the fire twice. Your hand is in the fire. Why are you going to leave it there? Pull it out. Until next time.